Hello! In previous video we showed how to execute profile velocity, and today's topic is somehow different but also related, and it's about status and also error handling of the drive. We already mapped status word, and inside the status word we already use certain things like we know when there is operation enabled, we know when there is a fault, we know when the target is reached for the velocity. But there are other things inside which can be interesting. And also there is another word which is called action status, which is more related to actual movement and also error handling of the drive in a little bit more details. Let's go briefly through action status and status word to see what can be interesting. First of all, you have bit 0 error class 0, and this is the first redundant information from action status word and status word. If you check bit 7 in status word, we see that we have exactly the same information. In fact, error class 0 is just a warning on the drive. There are 5 classifications in the drive of error. Let's say that as the number goes higher, it's more serious error. There are 2 aspects of classifications: the reaction of the drive, but also how to reset an error when you do not have any more condition for this error. So error class 0 is just an alarm or a warning. There is no reaction on the drive just continues to move. Then you have 1, 2 and 3. The drive can react in different ways, like control stop or completely removing the torque from the motor. And you can reset this error with bit number 7 from control word, like we did it in our project. And there is also error class 4. This error is the most serious error, and this error cannot be removed by just pushing a reset. You have to make a power cycle of the drive. We'll try to simulate this. Then what can be interesting from the movement aspect? For example, it's nice to see if you have standstill in a motor, means that the actual speed of the shaft is lower than 9 RPMs. And that is also nice to see if the motor is moving in positive, negative direction. There is a status of profile generator in the drive. Usually what is interesting to see if the generator is accelerating, decelerating, and if it's moving in constant speed. If we move down to com status, there are also a lot of things, but I would like to point out one thing, which is the last thing here, ref OK. And this bit tells you if you have valid homing on the drive. Now, here I have a small disadvantage. On both of my drives I'm using a multi-turn encoder. There is no really a point of homing a multi-turn encoder, because then the whole point of usage multi-turn encoder on the motor is gone. So drive knows if it works with multi-turn encoder, the RefOK bit will always be set. And now that we know what we will show, let's go to Codesys. We continue in Codesys, and the first thing that we need to do is add action status word to our input mapping. So we already opened the drive, we are at expert process data, inputs, and then we click insert, and then we find status, and the first word is action status. Then we need to go to EtherCAT IO mapping and map action status. And also we would like to map drive error number. Now that we mapped our data, let's go to visualization and make a visualization of the information from action word and status word that we just talked about. Okay, now that we have more or less everything that we want, let's log in and see how it works. Run. And as we can see, we have an error and we know that it's B6110 from the drive. Motor is at standstill, and of course the FOK bit is active because we have a multi-turn encoder. Let's reset. Let's enable. Now let's prepare velocity move. So we will say 100 speed. Let's use smaller acceleration. And in fact, this is the acceleration with wrong naming. Let's briefly log out and repair this. Okay, let's put 20. And now we execute profile velocity. And we will see that the motors are running. We see accelerating, motor go to positive, and then target reach, and he is at constant speed. If we now do opposite, we say minus 100. We say that motor is deaccelerating, then it will go to standstill, then accelerating, motor now is moving in negative direction, and when it reaches the speed, it will put again target reached, motor negative, constant speed. If we now go back to 0, we see that he is decelerating, motor in standstill, target reached. Now, just to see how to simulate error class 4, you need to do really something bad, and I will try to, for example, disconnect encoder cable from the drive while drive is enabled, so in this state, and we should get some type of error class 4. Don't try to do this. I will try to do this because I have a free shaft, I don't have any load, so technically there is no danger for me. So I unplugged the encoder cable, we got an error class 4. This error you cannot reset. Let's try. We see that we cannot reset this error. You need a power cycle. So those are the basics for error handling and also certain status that it's very interesting for you to have. And that's it for this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.